Hi, this is Ebru Shnapkova. I'm the founder and the leader at Prague Training Academy, and today I have a very special guest with me, Ladana Edwards. Ladana, I'm very happy to have you here today with me, and we will be talking about the edge thinking leadership. Ladana is a very inspiring leader, not only a very good friend of mine, but also she is very inspirational to me. When I look at her leadership, she is bridging the human and business in a very holistic approach. Ladana is partner in Deloitte, and she is running very transformational projects across the organization. So, Ladana, welcome. I'm very delighted to have you here. And I have listed a couple of questions around this holistic approach and edge thinking leadership. Welcome.
Super. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, April.
To start with, the theme of the International Leadership Week is reinvented leadership. That's what we are discussing. So what's your view on that? Have we really reinvented the leadership over the past 20 months?
Yeah, I think it's evolving leadership. And I mean, if you look kind of historical context, we used to have leaderships that were the great men, you were born leaders. And then they said, no, you could actually train leadership, and they had certain capabilities. And then there were all these different kinds of like inclusive leadership. So there's all these different brands of leadership. But what I feel has happened, especially since COVID, is that the world has changed. We've gone totally digital transformation, and the skills and the capabilities that leaders need now in this new world are very different. And it's really going from that more kind of traditional hierarchical command and control, managing performance pressure, to really ones that is really about actually letting go of control, building more trusting the intelligence of your organization, the people in your organization, and finding ways to hear their voices, because you as the leader cannot have all the information. Even leadership, so teams of leadership cannot have all the information. So it's really shifting of being kind of the person that's kind of leading the way to a leader being facilitating communication, facilitating understanding, and helping others do their job. So I think that's the big change. The big change is uncertainty. And in uncertainty, you can't control uncertainty. So how can you be more resilient, and how can you trust others to help lead?
Yeah. And what are the biggest challenges in this?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is changing mindset, right? So, if you have been a successful leader, I'm older, and so I grew up in an organization that was kind of structured. You knew your path in your career, and you learned through the culture how you should lead and how you should conduct yourselves at meetings, and so it's really this culture play. But now we live in a world that is really like I said, really uncertain, and so it takes totally different leadership skills. So I think it's a bit scary to go from I know what to do and I'm really good at it and I'm the expert, to I'm a learner and I have to trust and rely on other people, and I'm more a part of a team. So it's really going from kind of the individual and reason to more kind of collaboration and co-creation.
And do you think awareness is there?
Oh yeah, so everything is about awareness. I mean, it's what I believe is that humans have a natural tendency to do what's right and healthy with awareness. So for leaders, especially leaders in big organizations, and also sometimes the culture, that all the information doesn't go to the leader. So how can the leader really create a culture where they get the information and hear people's voices? So if the leader is unaware of it, the leader is not able to make the right decisions and is not able to steward the organization the way it should be stewarded.
Yeah, I've been speaking to many leaders over the past couple of weeks, and the common challenge that they describe is communication, connection.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I just have to agree with that. Um, and if you think about it, before we didn't maybe need as much communication and connection because things didn't change, so we could work more mechanically. This is the process, and this is my job, and this is how I do my work. But when things are changing so much, you have to be able to communicate and connect in an authentic way. And a lot of times, the lack of connection might be the roles that we play at work. Well, I'm supposed to be more submissive. I'm supposed to listen to you. I'm supposed to take command. So how do we, kind of break out of those roles? And how do we, it starts with the leader, how do we listen better? How do we make the first step at connection? How do we see the people that we work with as humans and allow their full selves to come to work? And then on the other side, it's a two-way street. It's not all about the leaders as well, but how will the individuals in the organization trust the change of the leaders and the leadership?
Yeah.
And so when the leaders are really wanting more information, wanting them to say it's okay to fail, let's just try, let's be more agile. When in the past, if you failed, it could have meant your job. So how do the employees start to trust and accept the new way of being at work as well?
Yeah.
So that is a challenge, even if the leaders are really wanting to make a change, a connection change, having better communication. How will the people accept that? And that has a lot to do with trust and trust.
Absolutely. I guess this is a very long journey.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
On both sides.
It is. And the leadership, because I want to make the distinction, because in the past we talked about leaders, the leader of a certain team or a CEO. But I believe the movement is from leaders, having really strong leaders, to leadership, because the challenges in the organization needing to be so adaptable, and the challenges we face in society as well are ones that cannot be done by individuals. They really have to have really cohesive, trusting leadership teams. So again, this leadership, has to start with this connection and change. But then how do all of us as individuals, also be courageous?
Yeah, and evolve in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you describe to the new leaders or the young people who are in the transition to the leadership role, what is edge thinking leadership? What does it really refer to?
Yeah. So Deloitte, we have a Deloitte Center for the Edge, and our Center for the Edge it's been around, I think, about 15 years, but it was really to help leaders, CEOs, usually like in global companies, to really project into the future and to see where the business was going. And then based on that information, go 20 years out, now it's more like 10, and then come back in and start to look at what needs to happen with that future in mind. So Deloitte Center for the Edge Leadership is really looking at what do leaders need to do, how do they need to grow and develop so they can lead organizations in transformation. So we're living in a world in transformation. All the businesses are transforming. There's different kind of models. Everything's going digital. We can't be experts in everything. So how does the leadership emerge in time with what is happening in that moment? And really what we are doing, we're looking at how do we, if you think of if you think of it in the circle, so you have the leader and leadership in the middle, then you have the teams and organizations and society. So for us, it's really like, how do we work on that inner game, really understanding who you are as a leader and how you construct that narrative of what you are in the future, now and in the future. And then also pulling them, that awareness piece, pulling them out from just their organization out to this broader perspective to see how their organization fits into the community, society, and the planet. And so we believe that in the 21st century, the role of leadership expands beyond the borders of the organization. And it's really the responsibility of these leaders to be educated in what's going on in the world around climate change, around diversity and inclusion, and really, like, what is the impact that their organization has on our planet. So for us, that's edge leadership. That is really going to the edge, really rethinking what is leadership and how can we as leaders evolve ourselves. Because without evolving ourselves and gaining more awareness and understanding of ourselves, it's going to be really hard for us to lead our organization.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what is the biggest struggle there?
Well, I think the biggest struggle is moving from more kind of an individualistic approach, certain kind of KPIs that were based on individual performance, just how we organized our teams as well, to really moving it to more relationship based. So instead of more individual and what are the performance of individuals, what's the performance of the whole team, but also in relation to the whole organization. So it's really a shift in mindset from individualism to collectivism, right? And I think that is a challenge because it is so baked into a lot of our processes, how we evaluate, performance management systems. There's so many, culture. We're blind to it a lot of times. So gaining that awareness of how all of those systems, which are, historical, are no longer fit for purpose. And how do we then co-create, not just create, co-create new systems that are more holistic and healthy for the future.
Very, very, very inspiring. Really, I'm really hopeful that we are going to be creating throughout these weeks this awareness that where the really leadership is going, what's next for all of us, like to get prepared, both on individual level and also at the organizational level. What is success for Ladana?
Oh, success for me. Well, I'm loving my job. I mean, I was in tax and legal in Deloitte for many, many years, and past 8 years I've been dabbling in people, organization, and culture. And I guess I'm getting older, but my mission in life is really leadership awakening. And I don't mean it in any woo-woo way. I just really mean it, and really leaders taking responsibility of personal growth and development. And if I can be part of that change and that awareness building, that is success for me. And it's not about like blaming, we should do better, we should do this. It's really about like, this is where we are, we have so much opportunity. And actually the world of work in the past sometimes was suffering, right? It wasn't always pleasant. I mean, I even used to call Deloitte sometimes the pressure cooker of Deloitte, which I'm grateful for. It really made me face my fears. But how can we, and it's all organizations, how can we go from more of that kind of pressure cooker, fear-based approach, needing to perform, to more excitement of the possibilities of what we can do together. So for me, I would like to be part of that movement. That would be success for me, to have leaders have more joy in their lives, and team members to see work as a platform for self-actualization. They can become their best self through their work. Now, that's what work should be, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, very nice, Ladana. Yeah, I don't agree with the one part that you are getting older. I'm very happy that you have very clear mission and vision, like stand it out, like this perfect. But I don't agree. Yeah. What's the biggest leadership lesson of yours until today? What?
So many.
Yeah, but like the biggest one, like.
Well, I think, it's a never-ending journey. I've done so many, I did a coaching diploma for 2 years. I'm always working on myself and thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to be, I'll get to this point. But now I realize I let go of that because I know it's just a continuous journey. So my biggest lesson is that enjoy the journey. Like, that's what's fun about it. It's not like to get to a certain point, but my lesson is that I pray that I'll always be learning and growing and developing and learning some blind spots that I don't see at the moment that will come up, and to be open to accept that and humble in the process.
Do you have any recommendations for these young people? What they should be really focusing on developing on their leadership journey?
I believe for me, leadership is very diverse now. Before we had kind of set ideas of what is a great charismatic leader. And I think just really be true to yourself. Question why you want to be a leader, what you want to contribute, why should you have a leadership position? And
these are such important and the right questions to ask. Absolutely.
Because if it's just for position, it will be empty once you get there. Right? So just really understanding, and I do believe that people that are really authentic, people feel it, and you'll get to a position being your authentic self that really suits you. But if you're trying to be something to get somewhere, you'll get there and really will be unfulfilled. Is what I find with leaders. They've worked in a system, they knew how to play the game, and then they get to the top and they're like, and now what? And they can even go through a bit of depression even.
Yeah, they're lost.
Lost.
Yeah.
That's so I think that's the biggest challenge is we didn't, there was a couple of ways to leadership when I was coming up. But now people can be more authentic, and it is about inclusivity and diversity. And I think it is an amazing time to be a young person in the world. It's kind of scary. It's really uncertain. Things are going so fast, but there is so much opportunity if you focus on the right thing and not just about money and position.
Okay. Wow, thank you so much, Ladana. Thank you. I very much enjoyed your ideas, and also very inspiring, very thought-provoking, actually, the project, what you are doing that you shared with us. So on behalf of the audience, let me thank you. It was very nice, and I'm very delighted to have you here really today. So thank you for joining.
Thank you for inviting me. It's really great, and I'm so happy that you're doing this and sharing these ideas with the community.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.